subs in a bowl. And don't forget our kids' meals, now with a free cookie. Here's to a better day. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust.
Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue.
Party,
this is Scalzo and Brust, presented by Bud Light
it's a party,
on
baby.
94.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
It's a party, baby. Woo! It's a party, baby.
Happy Thursday! Welcome to Scalzo and Brust, presented by the official beer of the NFL, Bud Light. He is Josh DiMaggio. I'm Greg Scalzo. I don't know if you're technically a cousin sub of the day or not. Chris Larson sure is. He's filling in for you, Josh, as you slide over into the Ben Brust chair, literally as well. Ben Brust enjoying a member guest tournament down there in northern Illinois with his brother, Jonathan Brust. Young Riley Yauk running the show at the Everlight Solar Studios downtown off the Capitol Square in Madison.
How you feeling about how yesterday played out, Greg? I've been playing the slot machine of social media and just refreshing and giggling, honestly, because there's some funny stuff. There's some very mean stuff, but I've been just looking at social media all day, probably to the detriment of the show.
I haven't really been paying much attention today.
Yeah.
But I have noticed in case you don't know what Josh is referring to, because there are a lot of people out there that aren't on Twitter.
Who have lives.
Yes. And yesterday, Ben Brust wore a New York Jets Aaron Rodgers jersey up to joint practices with the Packers and the Patriots. Made an appearance during practice, got booed. Didn't hear anything really negative beyond that all day. Ended up afterwards getting that jersey autographed by Packers head coach Matt LaFleur after badgering him for anywhere from, 1 to 3 minutes. And he ended up getting it signed. Obviously, all that stuff goes up on social, and Ben Brust has been wearing it. Just getting it left and right, seemingly nonstop. Just mean tweet after mean tweet after mean tweet, calling for his job, his life, calling him a loser, all sorts of mean things. I'm exactly where I was. I was on with Homer and Tony earlier. Dario was in for Homer, so it was Dario and Tony. And again, just kind of talked about how I'm a little surprised at how seriously everybody is taking this. How everybody's taking us in general.
Such a mistake.
And the fact that this has resulted in the amount of vitriol that has resulted in. So with that, we will go to the propagator, possibly the victim, maybe all of the above. He is Ben Brust, live from a member guest tournament in northern Illinois on possibly the worst time vacation he has ever taken. How are you, Benny?
I'm doing phenomenal. I'm not going to lie. I am very good at playing victim. I am not any victim here at all. I will own that at all costs. I'm having a great time out here in beautiful Aurora, Illinois, playing some good golf, and reading every mean tweet and laughing at it because the sensitivity is at an all-time high right now. And I continue to go back to the uncertainty of the Packers beyond Aaron Rodgers. I am the sacrificial lamb for Aaron Rodgers. I wear that jersey, and everyone wanted to tweet about me but not talk to me to my face. 15 years ago, there was hundreds of Favre Jet jerseys. Nobody said a word to those people. One Jet jersey, and everyone in 2023 loses their damn minds.
How's the tournament going, Benny?
It's going good. I'm carrying Jonathan Brust, the official and unofficial brother of the Scalzo and Brust family, the 14-minute man. He's shaking his head because he knows I carried us in the first 9. We're on our second 9 right now, and everything's going great. Look, I have the biggest smile on my face because the amount of people that think they can take me down over their sensitivity is it's admirable.
Ben Brust joining us here on his own show, Scalzo and Brust. We are presented by Bud Light. What today, or I guess since we got off the show yesterday, so in the last 22 hours, has stuck out to you most about the general reaction? Because as I told, Josh is living in this. I haven't really been exploring too much of what's been going on. I did see Doug Gottlieb got after you, which was hilarious. But what stuck out to you?
Again, the biggest word that I will go to is sensitivity and uncertainty. The Packers are heading into an era after 30 years of Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and it's Packers, or it's God Family Green Bay Packers. Is that Lombardi's freaking thing? And I'm starting to think that the religion thing is taking a little bit too far. I was going to say people need a hobby, but they already have their hobby, and their hobby is to be uber sensitive about anything that says anything negative about the Green Bay Packers. And the funny thing is what we did yesterday was I went to training camp in a Jets jersey, far well knowing that it was going to antagonize people, but the way that it's been like, oh my gosh, drag him on social media, it is a false world. If you have a problem with me, talk to me. If you're going to tweet me, I already know I got you in my pocket. So I really appreciate all the Packer fans out there. I'm sure this will elicit 10 more tweets. You're disrespectful to Matt LaFleur. Yeah, I badgered the hell out of him. I put Matt LaFleur in my pocket.
Oh,
he did not want to give me an autograph, and I get it. But he folded. He folded, and I enjoyed every second of it. And I have to hit a golf shot. I hope you guys have a phenomenal show. I love Josh DiMaggio, Greg Scalzo, and the entire Scalzo and Brust family. Shout out to the Benny Believers out there.
We're getting the drunk I love you mans right now.
Us out.
All right, see you, Benny. Good luck for the rest of the day. Yeah, love you too. He was feeling good right there.
The one question I was going to ask him was, what has been his favorite mean tweet that he's gotten? Because I will tease it ahead of time. We are going to do Ben Brust reads mean tweets when he returns from the worst timed vacation ever in the history of the world. Last night, my girlfriend and I sat on the couch and read mean tweets and giggled for a solid hour. Nothing to me has yet to top the city of Milwaukee tweets from the Sunshine account. If you could find it, I'm sure. The person said, tweeted at Cavalier Johnson and the city of Milwaukee, and is trying to get the whole, not just our show, because a lot of people have called for Ben's job so far. A lot of people have called for this show to be taken off the air, but they want the station gone. And what's been so fascinating to me is, if you boil it down, and I know Ben went kind of full troll and heel there, which I think is the right move for him to do, we are under no obligation to make you feel good about your favorite team. We talk about that team because that's a team we watch all the time, but I have no interest in just being like the soothsayer to Packers fans. I've grown up and watched every Packers game since I can remember, but I'm not going to just be nice to be nice because that's what people want to hear. And that seems to be the biggest criticism, that because we live in this state, we have to talk nicely about the Packers.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, nobody has been more positive about this Packers team the last 3 years more than myself.
As much as I hate it, I have to agree.
And we have now developed a reputation as a show that we're an anti-Packer show. And it's like, no, you can actually just have an opinion and change your mind. Jason Wilde on a much lesser scale, right, who puts a lot less emotion into his work than we do. points out some very real question marks about the team, and the vitriol is thrown at him. And I think that there are fans that become accustomed to local media in Wisconsin who are going to do nothing but praise fans because it gets them the immediate,
right? It's a feedback loop.
Yes, of people are positively responding to this because I'm telling them what they want to hear. And no, I don't think that we need to do that, nor will we do that here on Scalzo and Brust, or quite frankly, across the station. We're going to tell you what we think, and when we want to do a fun bit of Ben wearing a Aaron Rodgers Jets jersey to the training camp, we expected him. I mean, we talked about it in the show before
Correct.
we went that you were saying you wanted to see him get punched in the face.
I did. There was never.
We expected more of that in person than we did online, and maybe that was Maybe that was a little bit naive from us. 615 says, don't allow him back. Ron in the Key said, is Ben hiding for his safety? No, he's playing in a member guest tournament, which is usually where he is when he's not on this show. JD from Fondy says, hurts me to say, Benny, #respect. And Matthew Waukesha says, I got a half an hour of laughs reading the tweets. My favorite was the one that called Greg a short little man. I didn't see that one, but that's good.
Yeah, a lot of things were happening, and I've been calling it the slot machine. We sent a lot of tweets, and there was a lot of mentions. It was hard to keep straight what was going on. You caught some shots that I couldn't really figure out. A lot dealing with your hair. People either love the hair or hate the hair. That's been a big focus. And I was trying to figure out if they were talking about Ben's hair. And then I was like, well, no, I can't show my girlfriend that one. She cuts Ben's hair. But it turned out it was about you, actually. So you can be as mean as you want to Ben Brust within reason. Because we genuinely, and we're not doing the I'm not mad, it's actually funny thing. But like there's like threats against him. And questioning his manhood and taking out his non-existent children and the way he feeds them, which are way too far, and just call him a goober. I don't care. If
the Sunshine account tweeted at the mayor of Milwaukee as a joke, I would love that.
It'd be amazing.
But it's so clear that it's actually this is such a poor representation. God forbid Ben Brust is still roots for Aaron Rodgers or is critical of the Packers front office. 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Let's go to Josh in Oregon. Josh, welcome to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Bud Light. What do you got?
How you guys doing today?
Great. Fantastic.
I got a slight promotion that I never do, but if you are a Grateful Dead fan, I've been wearing these Grateful Dead polos from Section 119 that are absolutely epic. My wife got me for Father's Day. Just want to drop that in there. I have nothing to do with them, so sorry for that if it messes you guys up. But, Greg, you, for one, I am so happy when I get to hear you on the radio when you are not on. It's like a significant downgrade in the Scalzo and Brust radio program. So, man, I got mad respect for you.
Thank you, Josh in Oregon. I appreciate it. Thank you for the call. Thank you for the recommendations. Maybe we'll get matching polos here on Scalzo and Brust.
I have seen those on Instagram ads because I get suckered into those bad, and I know you've done it too, where you see something and you buy a bad, but they seem like nice. I guess they seem like nice.
I was so close to buying. This is horrible. My wife put a stop to it, but it's still actually potentially going to get purchased today. A Bentley tricycle for my daughter.
Is it Bentley? Does Bentley make it?
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was like they were mocking it up to look like a Bentley. But
no.
Is she a big tricycle?
She doesn't have one yet. She's only 2. But it looks awesome.
I do want to.
And I got it on one of those social media scroll. And I'm like, dude, this looks really cool.
I do want to note. My mother, who's a big fan of your daughter, already has her birthday present for next year. I got sent it yesterday.
Perfect. Thank you, Brenda. Appreciate that. 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Chef Ed says, all these people need to get a grip. Ben was paying homage to Aaron Rodgers. Ben, I'm in your corner. Matt from Milwaukee says, I think Ben should be fired, not for being nice about the Packers, but for embarrassing the whole radio industry. Matt from Milwaukee, I would love for you to walk into a radio like conference, an industry conference. Go to Radio Row at the Super Bowl one time. Look at the radio industry and tell me that he's embarrassing the industry. Drew and Madison chimes in, says this reaction from Packers fan about Ben in the jersey is exactly why people hate Packers fans. Here's the thing: is I don't want to group all Packers fans in with Packers Twitter because I feel like that's really what this has become about.
Yeah,
I have a feeling the Packer fan who sort of sees what's happening on Twitter but doesn't totally understand it, that listens to, the radio, that watches the Packers on Sunday, I don't think they're actually mad or, quite frankly, thinking at all about Ben Brust wearing a Aaron Rodgers jersey ticket.
The best thing that was happening since I've been following along so closely is the people who send a genuine haha, good one, Ben, without not realizing the absolute all-out assault happening of Ben Brust and his sensibilities. I think we fell into Packers Twitter is a type of thing that exists and is pretty unique, but all fan bases have it, where there's a group of people who started it and remain key part players in it that all think and talk and act the same. We saw it firsthand yesterday in real life with the people sitting in front of us at camp, but it's you try and remove yourself from it, but then you look at the numbers and it's we're over 1 million people interacting with tweets at this point, and you start to think maybe there's more people that are affected by this than I thought.
Mark Gregory chimes in and says there's a difference between being critical and being unprofessional. Mark, the idea of being unprofessional
I talks about his bathroom behavior on here once a week.
The entire radio industry, let's be honest. How many, listen to any sports radio show that you have and talk to me about the professionalism that's required in order to be a sports radio host. Now, if Ben was credentialed and in the locker room and doing something like that, then I guess. But I also think even then you're taking things a little bit seriously. But yes, if you've been as many press boxes, as many media members have been in, there is an air of taking yourself too seriously. But Ben is somebody who consistently is the butt of the joke. We have a segment every week we call "Are You Smarter Than Ben Brust?" We make fun of him for being an idiot. He took a blow-up doll to a dinner date. We've had a hypnotist in here before with him. The measure of professionalism here is people are giving too much credit, I think, and then in order to try to be mean to Ben.
All you got to do is, and I did it here, and I'm not going to read the headlines because it's going to take us some dark roads. Just Google radio host fired and compare what Ben Brust did getting Matt LaFleur to sign a Jets jersey and what these people are losing their jobs for. There's an old boys club in radio, and a lot of those people are still sticking around and will get a new job after the one they just lost.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776, the number to get into the show. Twitter, @Scalzo and Brust. We'll continue to talk about what happened yesterday, but we will continue to move forward as well to talk about this Green Bay Packers team. Back at it. Joint practice today with the Patriots. Sounds like it didn't go as well as it went yesterday for the green and gold. We'll discuss that next. Scalzo and Brust, presented by Bud Light.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Bud Light.
Somebody was trying to tell the city of Milwaukee to shut down the radio station because Ben doesn't support the home team, and Ben didn't say anything bad about the Packers.
Do you know what this is?
All he's doing is wearing a New York Jets jersey with Aaron Rodgers on the back.
Subscribe and listen to full show podcasts available free on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Northbound 41, still a brutal ride right now. We've got slowdowns from Blue Mound Road all the way up past Hampton Avenue, all because of some debris that's blocking the right lane north of Hampton, south of Silver Spring. Right now, it's a half an hour ride from the zoo to Highway Q. Southbound side is going to be about 19 minutes to get from Highway Q to the zoo. And southbound 43, riding the brakes from Hampton Avenue, pretty much all the way down almost to North Avenue, and then back on the brakes through the Marquette onto 4394. Traffic is brought to you by Carroll University's targeted MBA program, the perfect choice for ambitious professionals seeking career advancement. Visit carrollu.edu/MBA to apply for the fall. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, clear, cool, breezy, a low of 58. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high of 78. from the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Loziga on 94.5 ESPN.
This is going to be interesting, so pay attention.
Mountains and trees, ducks and hunting dogs, dinosaur bones, meteorites, steel that's carved like the leather stirrups on a Western saddle, Damascus steel, like they make swords out of, carbon fiber, hardwood,
Manly things.
hardwood. You already said that. I know, I just like the sound of it. Hardwood. It does have a nice ring to it.
Ring. I see what you did there.
I'm sorry, I got us off track.
Kessler's has wedding bands for men,
Real men.
made of manly things.
He wants you to wear a big, beautiful diamond so that everyone you meet will know how much he loves you. Why not insist that he wears something equally cool?
You'll tell your grandkids about the day you went shopping for this wedding band at Kessler's when they ask,
Where did you get such a cool ring? And what is it made of?
welcome to Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you, go to Kessler'sDiamonds.com.
Yeah, they're football guys, but they don't shy away from the big topics of the day.
So you won't listen to their music because of this? Was it a bad breakup?
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Also sponsored by American Family Insurance.
I don't know. You played one of their songs on
This
our
guy
show.
broke up with Florida Georgia Line. You should like him more.
I do like Tyler. Yeah, it's a good career move for him.
You're still not going to go to the concert.
Weekdays 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Sunday. That's right, folks. Great Lakes Dragway's 2023 race season is in full swing. Come out to see our annual events like Memorial Day Weekend, Labor Day Weekend, Nitrous Streetcar Brawl, Import Wars, Larry's Fun Fest, and Bug Fest. Looking for something new and exciting? Come see the Night of Fire Jet Show. Want the track all to yourself? Email or call about a private track rental. Go to GreatLakesDragaway.com for contact information and our full season schedule. Great Lakes Dragaway, just a burnout west of I-94 on County KR. Be there.
Over the past year, we've been hard at work improving our sales processes, expanding and remodeling our facilities, investing in new technology, and continuing our commitment to serve our customers, employees, and community. That's why at Boucher, when our customers leave the dealership, we hope we've made a customer for life. Whether you're in need of a new vehicle, are stopping in for routine maintenance, or are in need of collision work, we will be here to help. With 20 locations throughout southeastern Wisconsin and 30 brands, we've got thousands of new and used vehicles for you to choose from. Our dedicated employees have been named a 2022 top workplace for the past 11 years, and we always have been and will continue to be family-owned and operated. Proud to be your Wisconsin family dealership group since 1977. Visit us today at Boucher.com.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Bud Light, the official beer of the NFL.
A Grateful Dead Thursday here on Scalzo and Brust. We're presented by the official beer of the NFL, Bud Light. No Ben Brust. He's not suspended. He's not fired. To the chagrin of many.
Should we suspend him for the worst time vacation ever?
I am more. That's the one thing I'm upset about him. With him. Is the fact that he had this vacation timed as poorly as he did. But he is at a member guest outing with his brother, Jonathan Brust, as we speak.
This isn't fair, but the fact it's a member guest makes me think he deserves some sort of punishment more. There's something about member guests that makes my skin crawl, and the way he loves it.
Oh, 100%. If I were him, I would have skipped the member guest.
Would you have?
Yeah. I would have said, look, JB, I love you. You got a million friends. You got another brother. Like, why don't you have somebody else fill in here? This is big. This is work. You know, this is a big show after I became an article written by the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel I became the story at Packers training camp yesterday. I probably should be on the radio and talk about it. But hey, look, everybody's a little bit different. So he is off today. Josh DiMaggio in his place. Chris Larson running the show alongside young Riley Yauk. You, the Scalzo and Brust family, calling, texting 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Again, 800-990-ESPN. Logan in Milwaukee chimes in and says Ben should only be allowed to watch Packer games in Jesse Nelson's living room. I assume the dress code would be tighty whities.
I vote yes.
414 says you guys are a joke. Act like kids who have to have their way or have a tantrum. Whining and sniveling, yuck. Typical example of today's society where being proudly rude is the trend. What? When have we had a tantrum?
I don't know who that's referring to. Are they referring to the specifics of the video where Ben Brust was deep in a character and trying to get Matt LaFleur to sign it? Because I think
that might be it.
I was just saying, I think we've been pretty
whining and sniveling. Sounds like maybe the whole.
Here's a question I have for everyone. Chris, feel free to jump in here. Do people know how to take a joke?
Not anymore.
Definitely not anymore.
Is the idea of the joke completely dead? Because I think I try and come on here and I try and be funny. I also try and be smart about the Packers on occasion. But this couldn't bother me less. I ride or die with the Packers.
You wear the G? You carry the G?
I refuse to say that because the people who use that word are people I don't like. People who use that sort of sentiment or literally wear a shirt that says it, because I'm a fan. I like watching the Packers. I root for them to win. I hope the best every time they snap the football on Sunday. But I'm not carrying the G. I don't play for them. I'm not employed by them.
And again, Ben did nothing or said nothing negatively.
Nothing.
But no, people can't take a joke, and it's also people don't want to hear things that they disagree with, right? We know that. That is unfortunately true at this point, is that if you disagree with somebody or something, it's hard for you to stay there. Now, the Scalzo and Brust family, however, is loyal. They're ride or die. Heck, we've had a lot of disagreements with each other over the years. That's how it should be. I don't have to think the same way you think about the Packers. Don't have to think the same way Ben Brust thinks about the Packers. And that's how it's been on this show and should be for a very long time. The other Jordan and Madison chimes in, says some Packers Twitter members have decided to use Ben's joke yesterday to form a hypothesis that people outside of Green Bay aren't real Packers fans. This kind of insecurity is emblematic of a fan base that probably knows there's some dark times ahead.
There was some tribalism, some sent him back to Madison, some things that sounded like maybe some people have said things like build the wall in the past.
Try that in a small town?
Yes.
That's sort of a vibe?
There was a very strange element to that where it's like, isn't Wisconsin what we're all in support of here? Isn't it like the whole of the thing? I didn't know we were drawing lines based on Green Bay, because if Green Bay is the only people who can be fans of the Packers and show up to training camp, they're going to have some empty stadiums. There's going to be no one around. There's simply not enough people there.
How dare you, Joshy?
How
dare you?
The best thing, and you'll love this one, multiple people today have threatened and said the Packers and added the Packers, saying you should take away the gold package for this. The gold package is the set of games that people from County Stadium who used to have tickets.
Ben Brust wearing an Aaron Rodgers jersey to training camp should remove all Milwaukeeans from going to
those people subbed below the Mikowski line who went and watched the bad Packers in the 70s and 80s and held those tickets forever. They're done. Get them out of here.
Corey in Port Washington says, as much as I hate Rodgers, I have no qualms with Benny B and his jersey. Respect, dude. Nick in Madison says, I didn't care about the jersey. I just felt bad for Matt LaFleur. Yeah, Nick, we all felt bad for Matt LaFleur.
Felt terrible.
Josh couldn't even stay there. He walked away because of secondhand embarrassment, and then got it together and went back in there. 906 says, why isn't Matt LaFleur catching heat for signing a Jets jersey? He is from some people. I don't blame him too much. I think at some point he doesn't take himself so seriously where he's like, all right, I'm going to sign this. Like this. Like, what is he supposed to do?
That's the one thing I regret because I was the one posting the tweets. I should have just put, here's Matt LaFleur signing Ben Brust, Aaron Rodgers Jets jersey. But I thought I was looking for engagement. I should have known that was a bad move because I don't think he deserves criticism at all. Especially if you watch the video, it's like, just get this over with. That's the easiest, the path of least resistance. So apologies to Matt LaFleur, who I'm sure is listening right now.
Drew in Madison says the reaction fan. I already read that one. Sorry. 608. Ben's move was hilarious. Keep up the good work. That's Tony in Moho. I believe that's Mount Horeb. J Love in the 414 says, I don't feel bad for Matt LaFleur. I mean, look, I understand that he was put in a tough position. He is somebody who is the head coach of a National Football League team. He should be used to being put in tough spots with tough questions and tough circumstances. I genuinely think Matt LaFleur cares about it less than 99% of the people that tried to go after Benny yesterday. J Love in the 414 says Matt LaFleur is an Aaron Rodgers fan as well.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur, I'm sure this was brought to his attention by the Packers media team, since they pay a lot of attention to Twitter. But I don't think Matt LaFleur woke up this morning and thought about it at all. Now, I've done some tagging of him on Twitter, but he doesn't use his own Twitter. That's not him doing anything there. So I think Matt LaFleur went out to practice today and was thinking, how can I help Jordan Love improve today? Not, I can't believe that guy from Scalzo and Brust on ESPN Milwaukee tricked me into signing his Aaron Rodgers jersey.
But that's the thing. He didn't even trick him. No. He just asked him repeatedly.
Trick is a bad word.
And at any point, LaFleur could have either said, hey, I'll only sign it if it's a Packer jersey. You come back tomorrow with the Rodgers-Packers jersey, I'll sign it. He could have just finished doing everybody else and ran away or walked away like so many other players or coaches, and he decided to sign it.
I know neither you nor I would have ever done what Ben did to ask him that many times to get him to sign it and kind of just lose all shame. But if you were Matt LaFleur, would you have signed that jersey? Because I wouldn't have even made it as difficult as Matt LaFleur did. I would have noticed there was a guy who's bothering me after I said no once, and then I'd be like, all right, I'm getting this over with.
Ben's approach to it was one of, not of sincerity, I would say.
It felt clear, but we know Ben so well.
That I still think if you're LaFleur, you feel that a little bit. And him sort of pestering in that manner. Like if Ben were to be a little bit more quiet and like a little, and just like, hey coach, if you don't mind, I'd love you to have you sign this. I love both of you guys. And then like stood back, I think it would have felt different. But if I was LaFleur in that spot, I don't know how I would have reacted, but I would have either probably gone one way or the other pretty quickly.
I don't want to keep delving into the internet because it is the internet and most people don't live their lives through the whole thing. But
you mean most people aren't spending their noon to 4 p.m. on a Wednesday on Twitter?
Yes,
battling.
Yes, that's what I wanted to make clear. But there's been two funny conspiracies. The first one is that Ben Brust has a burner account. That there's some guy who is defending Ben Brust, a guy who's tweeted at us forever and has been anti-Goody and pro Aaron Rodgers. So that guy blocked someone, and now the Packers Twitter crew are spreading around that that Brent Brust has a burner account that he pays for. That he's a Twitter Blue subscriber.
I can confirm that's true. I can confirm that is Ben Brust's Twitter burner account.
And the
100%.
Other one is that Matt LaFleur told Ben Brust he was being aggressive because in the video you can hear someone say that, but it's not Matt LaFleur that said it. It was one of the other autograph hawks who were hounding Matt LaFleur. One of the other grown adults who weren't as embarrassing as Ben Brust, but were making sure they got Matt LaFleur's signature and surrounding him.
John in the 414 says LaFleur should have signed Robert Saleh's name. Like, that would have been funny.
It would have been very funny.
Like, if he were to just be like, all right, there you go, and we looked, and it was Robert Saleh, especially because they have such a close relationship.
Yeah. Sign it as his brother, who was a former Jets offensive coordinator. Sign it as Alan Lazard. It would be really funny to sign it as David Bakhtiari. I think that would be funny in the locker room as well.
Kevin in Sheboygan says, why do I get a sneaking feeling that Ben wouldn't have done it if he had to be on the show? It went exactly how I expected, and I enjoyed the aftermath. He's a medium-sized guy, so no one was really going to go at him in person, but internet tough guys are unbeaten. I really just wanted to read the medium-sized guy. Yeah, no, Ben, we don't. That's the other thing. Like, I was on with Dario and Tony Smith earlier on Homer and Tony, And they were like, so what was the plan? How did you guys plan for this? Like, we didn't.
No.
Like, if we're being honest, like, we were standing in the wrong place and LaFleur happened to walk by and we asked him for the autograph.
At 11:05 yesterday, I thought we failed in our entire day. I thought the day went as poorly as it could have because we had some things go wrong. And then the idea was happenstance. We didn't know Matt LaFleur would be walking where the Patriots players are walking, and we didn't know Ben was going to badger Matt LaFleur that way, and I did not think he was going to sign.
If we knew where the Packers were walking in, we would have stood in a different place.
Yes, it was happenstance. The whole day was happenstance, but frankly, pat on the back to us, we hit it out of the park yesterday.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776, the number to get into the show. No Ben Brust, Greg Scalzo, Josh DiMaggio here on Scalzo and Brust, presented by Bud Light. Bud Light brewed to be a delicious and easy to drink beer, even when little things in life are hard, like when Ben Brust is going viral on the internet. But you have even more time to enjoy a fresh Bud Light. Bud Light, the official beer of the NFL. Pick up Bud Light at your local retailer today. We'll get some 1 or 0s going next on Scalzo and Brust, presented by Bud Light.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Bud Light.
I will not be wearing.
Oh, you're going to be wearing at people at the end of the show.
I want to wear, but I'm not going to wear. But just know, I would say, wear. That Brust hurt my feelings.
Can you believe he wore a Jets jersey to practice?
But I'm not going to say that.
No, we're not going to.
I'm not going to do that.
Good job. Pat on the back to us for not doing that, Josh.
Thank you.
Subscribe and listen to full show podcasts available free on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Northbound 41, still a brutal ride right now. We've got slowdowns from Blue Mound Road all the way up past Hampton Avenue, all because of some debris that's blocking the right lane north of Hampton, south of Silver Spring. Right now, it's a half an hour ride from the zoo to Highway Q. Southbound side is going to be about 19 minutes to get from Highway Q to the zoo. And southbound 43, riding the brakes from Hampton Avenue, pretty much all the way down almost to North Avenue, and then back on the brakes through the Marquette onto 4394. Traffic is brought to you by Carroll University's targeted MBA program, the perfect choice for ambitious professionals seeking career advancement. Visit carrollu.edu/MBA to apply for the fall. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, clear, cool, breezy, a low of 58. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high of 78. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The biggest pro football contests in Vegas are back, and bigger than ever, with $14 million in guaranteed prizes only at Circus Sports. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere, 2 ways to win and no rake. Play Circa Million, make 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts, or join Circus Survivor, where you select one team each week straight up. Last the longest to win it all. $14 million in guaranteed prizes. Visit circusports.com for details.
Woo! I am thirsty today. Definitely going to need a cold one. There's the one. Always great when the owner of Oso Brewing Company, Mark Butera, joins Ben's Beer Fridge to tell us all about what's going on up at the Pride of Plover, Oso Brewing Company.
Talk about being a goofy brewery. We got a Fruit Fluff IPA coming out. That's going to be really cool. You know, it's everyone's favorite summer dessert, Fruit Fluff. You know, it's terrible for you, but it's so good. And we said, well, I think that'll go really good on IPA. So look out for that coming up. This year we did one of our summer beers was a Belgian Saison Picnic Ants, it's called. And that one we really, really liked a lot. Very traditional Belgian style working man's beer.
Thanks again to Mark Butera for coming on Ben's Beer Fridge to share all about what's going on at the Pride of Plover. Make sure you stay tuned for this Friday during Scalzo and Brust for a little Free Beer Friday. We'll be giving away some nice, delicious Oso Brewing Company beer.
Life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance because you'll feel protected no matter how the wind blows. All so you can keep enjoying the home of your dreams. And our expert agents can help you save up to 23% when you bundle home with auto. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. Get a quote? Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Ashton Rotman with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Catholic Memorial's Corey Smith, the senior running back whose max speed was recorded last season for the Crusaders at 22.8 miles per hour. And if you're wondering, yes, that is the fastest speed in the nation for a high schooler. So speed like that makes sense when you hear numbers like this as Smith heads into his final season as a Crusader. He's rushed for 2,452 yards and 44 touchdowns so far in his career. And as much as Smith wants to break the 2,000-yard mark for a single season, he says, quote, "It hurt us so bad last year that I don't even care about yards anymore. I just want to win state again." Smith is already committed to play for the Penn State Nittany Lions for his collegiate career. The season kicks off Friday night at 7 o'clock against Franklin.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Bud Light and streaming live on Wisconsin On Demand.
No Ben Brust, Josh DiMaggio, Greg Scalzo, Chris Larson, Young Riley Yauk with you. Scalzo and Brust presented by the official beer of the NFL, Bud Light. You, the Scalzo and Brust family, calling, texting 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Keep the phone lines open in case anybody wants to talk to us. Everybody wants to interact with us.
I want somebody who's actually mad to call in with. Don't swear at us, but
here's the thing: is as soon as nobody wants to admit that they're mad because they feel foolish that they're mad.
Yeah, I guess, and that's happened to me a lot. It happened to me recently. It happened to me yesterday when I was so furious at those people who were tweeting about us but not turning to say anything to us, and I was like, "Wait, this doesn't matter. Why am I mad about this?"
Chris, let's get to some 1 or 0s.
Are you a 1 or a 0? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Are you a yes or a no?
There's no such thing as a gray area. Life is binary. It's just a 1 or a 0. 1 or 0 is presented by Circa Sports. Play the Circa Million and Circa Survivor with 14 million in guaranteed prizes. Only at Circa Sports. Enter in Vegas. Play from anywhere. Visit circasports.com for details.
He's Josh DiMaggio. I'm Greg Scalzo. We're your contestants for 1 or 0. Chris Larson's your host. Yes, that's the question. We say 1 for yes, 0 for no. There is no gray area. Chris, take it away.
All right, guys, kicking off 1 or 0 here. A hotel in Germantown is apparently being infested by snakes. The snakes are found in the pool, hot tub, in the hallway, and slithering underneath people's doors. People are picking up the snakes and putting them outside. 1 or 0, a snake problem is worse than a spider problem.
I'm a big 1 here, and you can see the video. I believe Fox 6 has put it out of people there and their home videos. There's just snakes everywhere, like in the hallway. One's almost blending into the carpet, and the hotel employees admitted, like, yeah, we know there's a problem. Could you imagine being in your hotel and waking up and stepping on a snake, even if it's harmless? Like a spider, if there's a spider in the corner of the room, I can leave it there. Now my girlfriend can't. But I have no problem with the spider hanging out in the corner of the room. If it drops down on the web, I don't like it.
But until the snake starts to get like big and hairy, I'm not too worried. Or excuse me, the spider gets big and hairy. I'm not too worried about
when
the
I can
spider.
see the hairs, I hate it.
The snake in general is a way more intimidating animal, especially when you talk about in bunches, like from an infestation standpoint.
Yes.
I didn't know there was that many snakes even in Wisconsin. Like, I never see snakes.
There are portions of the state that have, and here I go being a snake nerd again. There are portions of the state that actually have rattlesnakes in it. There is a certain specific kind, but mostly...
But like in the Southwest, you hear a lot about stuff like this, where there's snake infestations. I don't hear about it too often.
No, I've never heard of a Wisconsin snake infestation. They did show there was like a marsh nearby, which apparently has a problem with like a growing number of snakes, but the snakes were all garter snakes. So they were like, they all have a very distinctive strip on them that makes it clear. But even then, if I'm staying somewhere,
what do those snakes eat, since you're such a snake
I believe it's just like bugs and small amphibians, stuff like probably mice too, but they're quite small.
Well, that's what I guess I'm getting at. Is this a bigger sign that there's a mice infestation at this place?
There might be, and that would be a good indication of why they would be there. Yeah. Because like they say the same thing, like if you have in the south a scorpion issue, it's because you have other bugs inside the house as well.
Oh.
I can confirm too. It's in a marshy area because I live in the area by Germantown. Yeah.
Do you see snakes?
I've had relatives that have stayed there, and they've never told me that they've had snakes there or anything like that. But it is in a marshy area, so I could see how they could have snakes there. But yeah, I've had people, like I said, relatives who stayed there.
Will you be telling your friends your friends and family not to stay at that hotel until they figure out the snake thing?
I would definitely, yes, indeed. All right, moving on to 1 or 0 here. How about that though? You go up to a nice chill, day at the pool, relaxing. All of a sudden, you look in the pool and there's a snake in the damn pool.
Yeah, that's it for me.
You have to drain the pool, right?
I would. Yeah, of course you do. It's a snake.
Just grab a net and get out of yourself.
Toss it outside. You'll be good.
Yep. All right, then moving on. Today, the New York Jets canceled their joint practice with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, forcing the Bucs to practice at the Giants' practice facility. 1 or 0, Aaron Rodgers canceled the joint practice today.
Go ahead, Greg.
0. The New York Jets canceled their joint practice. I don't think Aaron Rodgers has the power to make that call. Could he potentially influence that decision? Absolutely. But ultimately, I'm sure that's on the head coach, Robert Saleh, to make that decision. So I'm going to say 0. Robert Saleh canceled joint practice.
I found this interesting because the Buccaneers seem to be rather unhappy. Now, there were fights that broke out yesterday, but we also talked about yesterday in 1 or 0 how the Jets' offensive line had like a terrible day, and Aaron Rodgers was talking about how he might have to step in soon and try and get some continuity. I'm going to say 1 here, but not as 1 as I want to say as the number 1 Aaron Rodgers hater. I think Aaron Rodgers had a large influence on this, and he stressed, hey, there's potential for injury to me here, to Zach Wilson, and for us to look bad. I mean, the Hard Knocks cameras are there. Are they going to be putting this decision and the Buccaneers' reaction on film? Because I got to imagine they also, when they show up, they embed some with the Buccaneers, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's going to be...
Now, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets said they do have some editorial control. So how much do you think that gets out there?
I mean, look, if you're the Bucs, like they're going to say what they want to. The players from Tampa are going to say what they want. The coach from Tampa is going to say what they want. I could understand if it was, hey, look, we didn't even get a good practice in because there's all these fights going on. We need to get our work in. The Jets are at a different place right now than the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are playing for the first overall pick. Like, they're playing for Caleb Williams, the expected first draft pick in next year's draft. The Jets need to get some work done. They have to figure some things out. This doesn't surprise me. I have a feeling this happens more often than we realize, and I'm sure if it wasn't the Jets, it wouldn't make as big of noise. But no, I have a feeling this was a solid call. Fights at Green Bay camp. Green Bay practiced the Patriots today too.
Yeah, a couple people got kicked out even.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, there was like 4 small skirmishes that led to somebody's helmet being removed and thrown. I love a good helmet throw.
I just love a good swing.
But I always think of Kyle Turley. Remember he famously ripped off near the goal line with the Saints?
Mm-hmm.
He looked cool.
All right, wrapping up 1 or 0 here. Guns N' Roses released their new single, Perhaps, not via streaming services, but only on TouchTunes machines around the country over the weekend. 1 or 0, some music just sounds better in a dive bar.
Greg, I do want to ask a question here just about the TouchTunes as a whole. Will you pull up the app and just hog the TouchTunes and go to town?
Very rarely.
Oh, I do it
but
a
I
lot.
will. But I will. I am shocked that Guns N' Roses is still making new music.
Yes.
And whoever's their manager or their business person having this idea, like, Guns N' Roses is actually the perfect band to do this.
Yes.
Because they are like somebody you actually want to listen to inside of a bar. But I don't know somebody who's just like sitting around the house like, hold on, I'm going to put on some Guns N' Roses.
There's something here, and we've been talking about the differences between being online and not online. I feel like the people who are going to a dive bar to play touch tunes of Guns N' Roses aren't the same people who are going to get news of this release. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you have to be...
But if that's a Touch Tunes release, you have to imagine the point of, like, the actual Touch Tunes machine and the app is pointing you towards limited release or something there.
Yeah, but are GNR fans who are still that excited app guys? I can't imagine they are. I think this is like...
You're taking Touch Tunes one step further. At its core, it's not an app.
That's true. It is walk right up to it.
It is a interfacing jukebox.
You can still put an old Washington into it if you need to. I'd have gotten in. I think it's like, I wish some of the music I listen to did this. I would love for a music release to be like, hey, let's gather around. We're going to listen to X's new album that came out today only on Touch Tunes. Go have a few Bud Lights. It'd be a great time.
Ours would love it.
Yeah.
That's it for 1 or 0.
And that does it for 1 or 0. Thank you, Chris. Josh DiMaggio in for Ben Brust. I'm Greg Scalzo. We'll turn our attention back to day 2. Talk a little bit more about practice up at Lambeau Field today. Patriots and Packers. Mac Jones seems to steal the headlines today over Jordan Love. But Dan Orlovsky got a positive text from Matt LaFleur. How much is that worth? Talk about it next. Scalzo and Brust, presented by Bud Light.
You're listening to Bud Light, Scalzo, and Brust.
I can move on from that, and I'm ready to move on to the next thing that I have for you if you're ready.
I'm ready, Benny. It's your world. We're all just living in it.
All right, so...
Stream live and listen anytime on your time on Wisconsin On Demand.
Relive some of the most memorable green and gold moments all season long. Every Wednesday, get to the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube page for Repackables with Gabe Neitzel.
Take a breather. It didn't seem like there was that much of a drop-off.
Well, everybody was good.
Gabe and special guests rewatch and break down select games all leading up to the regular season.
It was one of those games that you knew as a player in that locker room we were going to.
It's Repackables with Gabe Neitzel, only on ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube page.
Does that knee pain keep getting worse? How about that pain in your shoulder or your hip or your back? Don't let them tell you steroids and surgery are your only option. Take my advice now and call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's Tony Smith. QC Kinetics can make that pain go away with all natural advanced regenerative medicine. They're helping people here in Milwaukee every day with these amazing natural treatments that restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Regenerative medicine uses concentrated healing agents from your own body to stimulate that damaged tissue in your joints so they can work like they're supposed to. And there's zero downtime. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting medical breakthrough. Patients here are getting real, lasting relief, and they're saying no to surgery and drugs. If you have pain due to an injury or arthritis, this is a remarkable option that you need to check out. And the consultation is free. Call QC Kinetics now, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474.
Stay up to date on the green and gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
It's ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta, and I have told you about the delicious pizza and Italian snacks that you can find at Proof Pizza inside St. Kate the Arts Hotel. But now there's even more to be excited about. The restaurant has added new sandwiches to the menu. Available every day from 11 to 4, you can enjoy items like the Red Rock Chicken BLT, the Meatball Hero, and more. Order from the counter at Proof or directly from the bar at St. Kate. Explore the new sandwiches and the rest of the menu at proofpizzamke.com.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Did you know that when you talk, read, or sing with your child, you're helping to shape their brain? Every parent has the power to create a strong start for our children from the day they are born. Visit TalkingIsTeaching.org for free tips and ideas on how to transform everyday moments into magical moments for learning.
Hey everybody, it's time for today's STEM tip. Want to know how to make your selfies even better? Okay, let's use science. The best time for photos is golden hour. That's the moment right before the sun sets, when the atmosphere scatters blue and violet wavelengths, making perfect, soft, and golden selfie light to show off that beautiful face of yours. Click. Check out Chic and STEM for more inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom!
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcast. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Some mixed results yesterday in the Packers joint practice with the Patriots, excuse me. Jordan Love had a good throw to Christian Watson. That captured Packers Twitter for a portion of the day. Ben Brust captioned Packers Twitter for the other portion of the day. And today. Today, however, it seems as if the Patriots got the best of the Packers. Now, I don't put a lot of stock in these. I know that, it seems to be one of those where, again, people put it through their own lens of, well, when I want to agree with what's happening, then it matters a lot. And when something else happens, then it's just practice. But the Patriots end up winning the 2-minute drill, number one offense versus number one defense against the Packers. The Packers offense led by Jordan Love went 0 for 2 in the 2-minute drill. Jordan Love was picked off by Marcus Jones, and ultimately, ended up the other one in just a turnover on downs. I don't put a ton of stock into it. From what I saw yesterday, I have not changed my opinion whatsoever from Jordan Love. I think he's a capable starting quarterback in the NFL. I think he's going to have some things that make him look really good. I think he's going to have some times that make him look really bad. And I think that, it's going to be a question of how good you think he can be after this season.
What I did find interesting was in the retrospective of yesterday, since we were at training camp, but we got in there a little late, we had to stand in line. We weren't there when we had planned to be. Jordan Love had some really good throws to start the day. He finally hit Christian Watson on that deep ball, the same exact throw that he missed in the preseason game against the Bengals. But from what we watched, it was like I wasn't impressed with literally anybody, be it a Packer or a Patriot. And I think it's kind of indicative of what's going on as a whole just with young quarterbacks, where depending on when you're watching and what you see, you're going to see totally different things, and it just matters what you view and what you keep in your memory. Because as somebody who is highly invested in Jordan Love being good, I certainly saw that Christian Watson throw and was like, maybe I missed some things at camp. Maybe the story isn't as bad, because he didn't. It wasn't a bad performance from what we were able to see in Green Bay, but nothing
looked good. It looked like an ugly game.
Yes, and then I saw today Patriots reporters who were at camp during joint practice say this is like the best day we've seen Mac Jones have, and this is also the best day we've seen the offense have, which then you go, wait, is this defense not as good? Even though just yesterday, other than Bailey Zappi, I think he had a good 2-minute drive, the Packers pretty much defense looked really good against the Patriots' first offense.
Yeah, I mean, it's all practice, right? You know, at certain points, you would see Belichick pull the offense off. He's trying to organize it to figure out how quickly Nick Folk could get the the kickoff, the field goal off in case there was no timeouts with 15 seconds left in a game. They're working situationally. It's really hard to pick apart what that looks like. However, we do know Matt LaFleur is encouraged by things. This because he sent a text message to Dan Orlovsky. Here's what Dan Orlovsky of ESPN had to say.
I'll say this. Matt LaFleur and I texted about Jordan the other day, and his words were, you would love him. He's going to be great.
How much stock do you put into that, Joshy?
I'm trying to figure that out right now. To me, that's the most encouraging thing I've heard from Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur was very clearly in the Aaron Rodgers should stay here as long as possible because it makes me look like a great head coach. But I don't feel like we've heard Matt LaFleur. We heard him tamp down expectations earlier in the offseason. We've heard him just kind of be like, yeah, Jordan has some good days. We also heard him address the dead Ducks and like basically saying, the wind wasn't as bad as the reporters were indicating. That's like over a month ago at this point. So Matt LaFleur texting his friend like a confidant in Dan Orlovsky, someone who also was debatably going to be hired in Green Bay at some point, it makes me feel encouraged because would he lie to his own guy? Like he's going to be great thing is the nicest thing anybody in Green Bay has said about him. Now it was a private text message, and I don't know if he meant
it was not a private text message.
You think that was a get this out there?
If Orlovsky got that and he's going to go take it to air, he's saying, "Can I? Yes, is this off the record?" And LaFleur, look, I think it's the right thing to do. As a head coach, you want to push the right buttons at the right time. You want to challenge your guys at the right time. You want to build confidence at the right time. And this, to me, feels like a confidence-building move. I hope that Matt LaFleur is right. I think Jordan Love has done everything the right way. He says all the right things. He acts the right way. He's like I hope that he's right. I think even Matt LaFleur doesn't know right now. I think you could look at it and say, yeah, I think that this is going to be the case. Heck, Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers thought that Trey Lance was going to be great.
Yeah.
Fast forward 1 year. 1 year. And they're like,
I don't want to get into the Niners have been pretty open about Trey Lance not being where he should be, and the Packers might just be taking a different approach. But all the things I've seen, it's a building block sort of process where I'm not going to take this and say, well, Matt LaFleur said he's great, so now I also think he's great. But the few things that you keep seeing, they keep adding up. Remember we were looking for wall throws for the first week of training camp, and that was a story. The fact that there's more and more things to point to him being good now than there ever was is it continually encouraging to me, where I think if you come down on I think he'll be good, but I don't know for sure, I think that's a fair stance to have as a Packer fan. I wouldn't call that green and gold glasses at this point. There's some wishing in there. There's some wish casting as well, but there's been enough to this point to be encouraged, where before camp started, I had no reason for that.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. The number to get into the show. Do want to give a shout out to our friends at Smart Spaces, smartspaceswi.com. Again, smartspaceswi.com. They helped us build out our facility here at the 3rd Street Market Hall, integrating the technology seamlessly into our space, allowing us and our office to be smarter and able to perform beautifully across all virtual meeting environments. It's what's necessary in today's work world, right? You've got virtual people, you've got hybrid people. You have to find a way to connect everybody together, and that's what Smart Spaces does. They allow that dream to become a reality by getting you the right technology for the right reasons. Where they listen first culture, they learn your business's needs and provide seamless solutions for your office. See how you can improve your business today, just as we did at smartspaceswi.com. That's smartspaceswi.com. Dalvin Cook talked about what drew him to New York. You may be surprised as a Packers fan because it didn't drive anybody to Green Bay. We'll talk about that next. Back in 2 minutes. Scalzo and Brust presented by Bud Light.
Northbound 41, still a pretty brutal ride. It is 41 minutes to get from the zoo to Highway Q, and it's all because the right lane is blocked with some debris just north of Hampton Avenue. Delays coming right out of the zoo interchange all the way up to that point. So avoid 41 northbound if you don't want to deal with that. Maybe Highway 100 might be an option. Highway Q to the zoo on the southbound side, that's still going to be a bit backed up. We've got right now a 22-minute ride there. We've got also the left lane blocked with a broken down vehicle on northbound 41 at Mayfair Road. All this is going to be adding to the headaches through that area. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, clear, cool, breezy, a low of 58. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high of 78. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee, packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
WTMJ's Brandon Snide here for Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. Summer is still going strong, and Wisconsin Harley-Davidson in Oconomowoc has all the fun going on. Join Wisconsin Harley-Davidson this Saturday, August 19th for a bike and car ride organized by the Carpenters Union and Local 314, all to benefit Logan's Hearts and Smiles with music by Random Acts, food, and much more. Check out WISHD.com or like and follow Wisconsin Harley-Davidson on Facebook and Instagram. That's WISHD.com. Wisconsin Harley-Davidson, your destination dealer.
Heading up north this summer for some golf? Be sure to book a tee time at the Ball Golf Course, an Arnold Palmer masterpiece just north of Milwaukee on the way to Kohler. It's the best destination for your next Wisconsin round of golf. Enjoy golf. Enjoy the bog.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Marquette Hall of Famer Tony Smith here. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust.
Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue.
Party,
this is Scalzo and Brust, presented by Bud Light
party,
on 94.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
It's a party, baby. Woo! It's a party, baby.
Presented by Bud Light, the official beer of the NFL. Ben Brust taking a very poorly timed vacation here as he embarks on his 7th member guest tournament of the summer. This one with the beloved Jonathan Brust, the 14-minute man himself. Josh DiMaggio sliding over. Chris Larson, your cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. Young Riley Yauk helping us out at the Everlight Solar Studios downtown off to Capitol Square in Madison.
Would it be rude to put out a poll? Should Ben Brust have canceled his vacation to be on the show today? Is that bad form? Could we ruin possibly his member guest vacation? Or do you not care?
It would definitely ruin it. Like, here's the thing, not if the poll question's posted. If he heard me say that I would have skipped out on it, that would definitely ruin his member guest experience.
Yeah, the good thing is there's no way he's listening to today or tomorrow's show until after member guest is well and done with. I think as we could hear, he's having a good time out there with Jonathan Brust. I did get an image of Jonathan Brust at the bar early this morning. So even the member guests and what they're known for, Jonathan Brust has to pregame that. Which I'm a big fan of a pregame, but that's a lot. I'm going to post the poll. I'm not going to take
that was 10:57 a.m. this morning. So before 11 a.m. Ben's still rocking the mustache, by the way. And
what do we think about the mustache?
I actually don't think it looks as bad as everybody else does, but it does make him look like a personality. He looks like a character with that mustache. It's a little Farva from Super Troopers.
Is the reaction to Ben Brust as vitriolic?
No.
If he doesn't have a mustache?
Not even close. The mustache elevated it to the point where, like, if people are like, oh, you're just looking for attention. Yeah, he's got a horrible mustache.
He's wearing an Aaron Rodgers jersey and acting like a child to get... I don't know what's a better poll question. Maybe I'll post some posts. Would people be less mad if Ben Brust didn't have that mustache? And should Ben Brust have canceled his vacation to be on the show today?
We'll work on getting those up. And Aaron Rodgers, I think, the main reason, right, for all of this vitriol. I think if Ben Brust is wearing a New York Jets Randall Cobb jersey, nobody cares. If Ben Brust is wearing a Justin Fields Chicago Bears jersey, he's not getting nearly as much hate. But it was was an Aaron Rodgers jersey, and people still upset with Aaron about the way that things ended, right? I think the way that things ended, the way that Aaron Rodgers approached last season, not going to OTAs and minicamp, although he did play through injury throughout the entire season, putting his body on the line, in order to win games for the Packers. And even leading into this year in his time with the Jets, where he's seemingly doing everything that he wasn't doing with the Green Bay Packers, while also giving up $35 million and taking a massive pay cut that allows them to go out and get more talent to try to win now. His argument is, look, if I thought the Packers were going to go all in, maybe I would have done that. But he never felt like the Packers were willing to go all in, whereas the Jets very much are willing to do so, as evidenced by the signing of Dalvin Cook. Now, what brought Dalvin Cook to the New York Jets? Here's what Dalvin had to say.
Steadily recruit me. We had conversations, which I wouldn't speak on. Steadily recruit me. We had conversations, which I wouldn't speak on. But he don't gotta recruit. His game recruit itself. Like Aaron is Aaron. Like, if you don't want to be a part of something like that, I don't know what it is. What you want in football. So he really didn't have to recruit me. I just wanted to make the best decision for my family. That's what kind of like I had to take a step back and just what's best for me and my family, and I feel like this was the best situation.
So Dalvin Cook saying, look, Aaron Rodgers and his greatness drove me to the New York Jets. Now, Josh DiMaggio, you are Aaron Rodgers' biggest hater. You've said that Aaron can't recruit anybody anywhere.
I've said it multiple times, many times. I say it in private to you sometimes just to taunt you.
Do you feel like maybe you want to take a step back on that, and maybe Aaron Rodgers' greatness would have drawn more people if the Packers were willing to actually pay in order to get those people?
I won't take a step back. I'll never take a step back, Greg. I do think, now, you guys have put me in on this show in a position where I'm the bootlicker. I'm the bootlicker, which I'm very much not, but I just kind of assume that role. Where, as much as I'd love to blame Aaron Rodgers for the lack of veterans coming to the Packers, it's the Packers' unwillingness to pay people for short-term contracts, and especially when they're advanced in age. Delvin's not that old, but for a running back, he might as well be ancient in the NFL today. I think Aaron Rodgers, to an extent in his career, was a reason people weren't joining him. I think some of the perception in the media about him probably affected players a little bit. But this new Aaron Rodgers and the more recent one, I think it's totally Goody, and I think it's totally a reason of that relationship being worse than we thought it was, even when we thought it was bad. I think Aaron Rodgers was like, I'm not going to recruit these people here. And even if I try, because I've tried in the past, you aren't going to make a competitive offer. I mean, J.J. Watt sort of hinted at it, and we kind of thought about what the issue could be. There's been Odell Beckham. Remember Will Fuller? That whole saga? Like, there's too many things that have happened, and happened in the past for Green Bay and are now happening right now for the Jets, to not point at the Green Bay Packers organization. Now, we can debate if a lot of those moves would have been the right or wrong moves to make, because I'm sure there were other ones we never knew about and never heard about. We just heard about the sexy names, the names everyone want to hear about. But I have to blame the Packers. I have to, and rest his soul, Ted Thompson did the same thing. He wasn't going to be aggressive, especially with in-season additions or somebody like Dalvin Cook.
You have to look at the team in the sense that there are few quarterbacks, if any, quite frankly, maybe one you could point to, who had the greatness of Aaron Rodgers, achieved what he achieved on an individual level, and yet lacked the ultimate team success that he lacked. So you could blame, as I do in part, Aaron Rodgers in terms of how he conducted himself. I said for a decade, I think if he approached the game and the team a little bit differently, then that would have probably allowed for a better culture to be created. But I also think more so you have to blame the Packers and their general approach of, well, we want to continue to be good and not feel as confident. I mean, it oftentimes feels like they govern from a position of fear. Fear of what happens if we lose out on this draft pick, or if this doesn't work, or if that doesn't work, as opposed to saying, you know what, if we take a swing and we miss, we have the great eraser in Aaron Rodgers because he's so good that we're going to pretty much be at the top of the division anyway. But whether it's Tom Brady, right? Like, just look at the all-time greats. Tom Brady, John Elway, Peyton Manning. I could say as much as I want about him, but he is up there. Heck, put Brett Favre up there if you want. Like Joe Montana. Like who else are the greatest individual players? I think Patrick Mahomes is quickly ascending into that group. Very few of them lacked the ultimate team success that Aaron Rodgers lacked. Dan Marino's the only one that you could argue, and I think a lot of people have spent decades ripping on how the Dolphins went about building a team around him. Yeah, and that was before free agency was actually in existence.
What makes this hard to parse out is the Packers' ridiculous success the past 20 or so years in terms of consistently being a winning team, consistently winning the division, consistently making it to the playoffs. But the amount of times, like Packers fans, even my age, can roll off a laundry list of like horrific playoff losses for the Green Bay Packers. Now, you can argue the reason they're always there is because they didn't take risks. They didn't bring in advanced age guys for more. Like Delvin Cook's getting paid with incentives like $8 million. Now it'll probably end up being like $6 million, but that's not cheap. They have Breece Hall, who's coming off an ACL, but like a great investment in a young person who's going to be on their team long term. So the Packers have proven they can get to the dance. They can get near it. They can be touching it. They can be around it, but they're totally unwilling, like an aversion to it, like it's like they're allergic to it, of doing the, hey, this might screw us next year, but we're just going to go for it. The Rams their rebuild is going to take like 3-4 years.
I don't even know the Rams is an unfair comparison because they didn't have an Aaron Rodgers-like quarterback. Right. Like some of the examples you could prop up there, even Tampa Bay, right? Like that's not the same example. The two quarterbacks and teams that are probably closest to Aaron Rodgers were Tom Brady and the Patriots and Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and both of those teams are constantly willing to look at the roster not on a continuum of, we just have to add a little bit here, take out a little bit there, but this is the core of our team and we're just going to continue. The amount of different iterations that Tom Brady went throughout his career is astounding. Patrick Mahomes already in his young career, they've retooled that offense like 3 separate times because they're basically saying every year we're going to go in and we're going to try to win the Super Bowl, but every year is going to present a different equation for us to work through. Meanwhile, the Packers have never been willing to do that.
Yeah, it's hard to even fathom how that goes. Where it seems clear, and I think the Packers have told us this over and over and over and over and over again, that they're simply not going to ever risk the long-term options, and they don't see it as worthwhile. They don't see, like, every single year the Chiefs add like some big name on defense. Every single year, there's like an edge rusher they bring in, a linebacker, a defensive tackle, where they're like, hey, maybe this works. I don't know. We're just going to kind of throw it at a wall and figure it out. And the amount they value their draft picks is a large reason why a lot of that doesn't happen. But to keep it to free agency is the Packers almost don't use it, and they simply they're satisfied. That's really the only way to put it. The Packers are satisfied with always being in the mix. They're the ultimate mix team. Now, having a great quarterback often brings you above the mix, but there's nothing else.
We've seen what this team was with mediocre quarterback play when Aaron Rodgers would get hurt, and it wasn't correct.
Never. Hideous even. Abhorrent at times.
And look, I also think it's unfair for us to act like the Packers never did anything, right?
No,
Bringing in Charles Woodson helped them win a Super Bowl. They brought in Julius Peppers. I mean, there are guys they brought in. Jimmy Graham, the Smith brothers, you could go on and on and on. So it's not like they just were like, we're going to completely bury our head in the sand and not try there. But it never felt like they took advantage of the allure of Aaron Rodgers in the way that the Jets have so far in one offseason, where they put Aaron out there and said, okay, who wants to come and try to win a Super Bowl with this team, especially in those years where it felt like they were as close as they could be.
The lack of adjustment to the Green Bay way is what is sort of interesting to me, because we saw Tampa Bay would still be a pretty good team if Tom Brady decided he wanted to play football still. Kansas City has done it over and over again, where they're not taking massive swings. They're just taking supplements. Jason Wilde always talks about it like 3 or 4 games, 3 or 4 plays make a difference in the game. We used to talk about Randall Cobb and how much can Randall Cobb be worth, just as Aaron. But there was multiple games where Randall Cobb caught a giant third down.
Yes,
like to keep a game alive, to keep them in it. And it seems like the Packers don't view those small things as valuable enough. For whatever reason that is, they don't view. Maybe if this edge rusher comes in and fills a hole and gets 2 sacks in a really big time late in the game, that could be the difference between us making a Super Bowl or not. They just don't seem to think that way on any level.
And it's interesting because even though he was known for not bringing in free agents or making trades, Ted Thompson, that 2010 Super Bowl team, they did a lot of that between Charles Woodson and Cullen Jenkins and Howard Green. They brought in guys mid-season, before the season. It was hey, we're
proof positive.
Hey, Rodgers was good when he was a rookie. He was better the next year. Third year, let's go ahead and try to make some noise. And obviously that ended up with a Super Bowl. And all 3 of the guys I named had a part in that.
Do you view... from a serious point, do you view the Packers always being involved in that as a strategic PR move because it's gotten so loud from the fan base and from the media? Because I
think they were with Rodgers. I don't think they are with. I think when we hear somebody being.
Do you think that changes? So say next year the Packers are a playoff team. They're clearly going to be in the playoff team, and there's somewhat big on the market. Do you think we're going to hear about the Packers being involved in that?
I don't think we will nearly as much as with Rodgers, because I don't think the noise will be there. The noise got there with Rodgers, not that far off, because 2011 was massively disappointing. 2014 obviously was the complete botch game against the Seahawks. And then by the time 2016 came around, people were like, hey, when is Aaron going to be back in the Super Bowl?
Right.
Not even just winning the Super Bowl. He only played in 1 Super Bowl with the Green Bay Packers. And I think that is sort of what you have to look at as a disappointment. And I think there's blame to go around. I don't think you can pin it on any singular thing, but I don't think the same pressure is going to be there for them to be in the mix or talked about as being in the mix as there was in the Aaron Rodgers era.
I would just love to hear whenever they name the guy, just what were the was it serious? Were the Packers going to, I don't know why Les Snead came into my mind, with a serious offer? Were they even competitive? We all do fantasy football here for the most part, and you get the worst trade offer, and it's is this person hope I just misclick here and end up doing this? Is that what we're viewing the Packers as? Because you can't make an offer that'd be oh crap, they might actually take this.
Yeah, they're that team.
Yeah.
Either that or we know they have great connections with the media. All they have to do is say, hey, we're in on this. We're interested when they get, tweeted at by whoever out there and just says, yep, we're in on it. We're interested. Yes. We're in the mix.
Yeah, we're circling the wagons, figuring out if this is going to make sense for our football team.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. We've got over-under coming up next here on Scalzo and Brust. We need callers number 4, callers 8. Caller 4 and 8. Josh, is this you or no? You were not. Chris has the category.
Chris did the category.
Great. So Chris has the category. He's selected a category. Neither Josh nor I know what it is. He's applied an over-under number for the amount of correct answers. Josh and I will get out of 10 guesses within 3 minutes. We don't know what the over-under line is. Either caller number 4, you'll learn both. You'll say over or under depending on how much you believe in us. Caller number 8, you're stuck on the other side. Winner wins a fantastic prize. Over under, caller 4, caller 8, 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Josh, do you want to fill us in on what that prize is?
Yeah, Milwaukee, you would get a gift card to Mars Cheese Castle and North and South Seafood if you're in the Madison area. Thank you for noticing that, Greg. That has recently changed. So
thank you for filling everybody in. Caller 4, caller 8, over under next. Scalzo and Brust, presented by Bud Light.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Bud Light.
I thought I made a valid argument. I said, you guys had great years together, did you not? And I was like, I like Matt LaFleur. I like Aaron Rodgers. Why can't I have Matt LaFleur sign my Aaron Rodgers Jets jersey? But the funniest part
you
is...
were also pretty direct with him when he said no. You were going back and forth, and I think that more than anything.
At one point I did say I feel like I was being bullied.
Subscribe and listen to full show podcasts available free on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, delays continue along 41 northbound. We've got that right lane blocked just north of Hampton Avenue with some debris in the roadway. It's been there all afternoon. It's been a bit of a mess. 28 minutes to get from the Zoo to Highway Q. We've also got northbound 4394 just north of Oklahoma Avenue, an accident on the right shoulder. That's got things tied up heading back towards Howard Avenue. And then Capitol Drive and Brookfield Road. That intersection's kind of messed up. We got the stoplights blinking, and everybody has to treat it as a four-way stop, and it is just throwing everybody for a loop. Delays in about a mile long back in both directions of Capitol Drive, so give yourself that extra time. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, clear, cool, breezy, a low of 58. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high of 78. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazagon, 94.5 ESPN.
From the tee box to the green and everything golf-related in between.
Same thing with Xander and Cantlay. Like those four, because you know you're just going to pair them together. Like those four are safe on this Ryder Cup team. They're safe in 2 years on that Ryder Cup team.
On the tee with Gabe Neitzel and Stephen Watson.
Like JT and Spieth are still your horses. Like they are still your first team out.
On the tee with Gabe and Steven, presented by Wisconsin Golf Trips. Mondays at 6 on 94.5 ESPN.
The James Imaging Systems people, they're one reason why so many businesses choose to do business with James, like Brookfield GMC, controller Jay Doyle.
They're compatriots to the point where when I call, they act like they're your best friend.
Document imaging technology, managed print services, content management solutions, all supported by the James Imaging Systems people. People who are dedicated to helping your business do business better.
They do a great job. They're like it's one of your workers. They want to help.
Not tomorrow, not next week. Help when you need it. That's James Imaging Systems.
Yeah, they do a great job. They're there immediately, and it's a great feeling because I know they care.
James Imaging Systems.
I do love working with James Imaging. It's perfect.
Put the good people at James Imaging Systems to work for your business. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local office technology partner.
Whether it's live or in podcast form, you've heard us on air with all of our shenanigans.
Gabe, I'm throwing some... Why are you throwing... I don't want...
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video.
Made by me, by the way. I hit that microphone like 4 out of 6 times on that.
Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss and see original digital content too. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Faith and Bigora, lads and lassies. Irish Fest is almost here. One of the great Milwaukee summer festivals. And we'd like to send you there. Compliments of Discount Liquor. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Purchase any one 18-pack of Miller Lite, Draft, or 64, or Coors Light, and receive one free ticket to Irish Fest. But don't delay. Tickets go quickly, and I know you don't want to miss all the great Irish food and beverages. Visit us today at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and on Barstow and Main in downtown Waukesha. Discount Liquor, voted best liquor store in Milwaukee again. See us this week for your free Irish Fest ticket.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Check out all of our weekly specials at discountliquorinc.com.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Bud Light and streaming live on Wisconsin On Demand.
Scalzo and Brust, presented by Bud Light, the official beer of the NFL. No Ben Brust. He's at a member guest tournament right now, his 7th of the summer. Josh DiMaggio slides over. Chris Larson, your cousin sub of the day. Young Riley Yauk helping us out as well. It is Thursday. It's just past 5:15, so it's time to play a little over-under.
Will the guys hit the over, or will they disappoint like they usually do? It's time for Over Under on Scalzo and Brust.
Here's how the game works. Chris Larson has a category. We don't know what it is. He's applied an over-under line to that category for the amount of correct answers Josh and I will get out of 10 guesses within 3 minutes. We don't know what his line is either. Caller number 4, Chef Ed in Milwaukee, doesn't believe in us. He says the under. Michelle
Is it me, Chef Ed?
Watertown gives us the over. Winner wins themselves a $50 gift card to Mars Cheese Castle. Chris Larson.
All right, guys, today's category is the top 10 Packers career scoring leaders for total touchdowns. Not passing touchdowns, but total touchdowns scored. So this could be rushing, receiving, kick return, punt return, interception, fumble return. They're all added up into there. The top 10 total touchdown Packers scorers in franchise history.
Top 10 total touchdown scorers in Packers history.
Correct.
What's the over-under?
7.5.
This includes passing touchdowns.
This does not include passing touchdowns.
No. So this is
cheapers. Jiminy Christmas, Chris Larson.
I don't know how this is going to go.
7.5.
Chris, there's a
These are a lot of familiar names in here. You guys should know. You're Packer fans?
Yeah, there's a 3-minute timer there that you can start.
I got it ready to go. Whenever you're ready.
All right, give her a go.
You're off and running.
I mean, is it like Amon Green?
It's Devontae Adams for sure.
Okay. Devontae, so then probably Jordy.
Probably. So let's do Devontae final answer. All right. Then let's do Jordy Nelson. He had a long career enough. And passing touchdowns. The game's changed. So
Devontae Adams number 3 on the list.
Perfect.
With 73 total touchdowns from 2014 to 2021.
Let's do Jordy Nelson final answer.
Jordy Nelson is number 4 on the list with 69 total touchdowns.
What about like Paul Hornung?
I mean, like Hudson's definitely on there. Has to be.
You'd think so.
All right. Don Hudson, final answer.
Don Hudson is number 1 with 105 total touchdowns.
I associate him with touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, like old school, do you go like...
Is Aaron Jones on this list?
No.
2 minutes.
Jim Taylor?
Yeah, let's do that one.
Jim Taylor, final answer.
Jim Taylor's number 2 on the list with 91 total touchdowns.
We got Jordy.
So you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 so far.
I feel like Amon Green's up there. I feel like
Amon Green is Dorsey Levens. Was that a long enough?
Could have been.
Donald Driver? I mean, he was a Packer for how long?
Let's go Amon Green, final answer.
Amon Green, number 5 on the list with 68 total touchdowns.
Donald Driver?
Yeah, it has to be
Donald Driver, final answer.
Donald Driver, number 7 on the list with 66 total touchdowns.
I mean, 66 touchdowns. Did Jennings do that?
62. He's tied for 62. Yes.
Is Greg Jennings on the list?
Is Randall Cobb on the list?
Randall Cobb
didn't catch a ton of touchdowns.
No,
1 minute.
He caught more than you'd think. We have one to burn.
Do you want to go Aaron Jones? Do you want to go...
I would think Aaron Jones has more touchdowns than Randall Cobb, but I cannot guarantee you that fact. I'm going to say Aaron Jones is above him, so let's do Aaron Jones' final answer.
Aaron Jones, number 9 on the list with 60 total touchdowns.
Great call.
Do we need one more?
Yeah, they have 7 right now.
Okay.
30 seconds.
Dorsey Levens? No.
Dorsey.
I mean, who else is there? It's not like Max McGee. We got to guess somebody here. What about, did we guess Greg Jennings?
No, we didn't.
Greg Jennings, final answer. We mentioned him.
10.
Antonio Freeman.
9.
Antonio Freeman,
8.
final answer.
7. 6. 5.
Antonio Freeman,
4.
10 on the list with
3.
57 total touchdowns.
2.
Number 10 on the
1.
list.
Who's the one we missed?
So we have Don Hudson, number 1.
Yep.
Number 2 is Jim Taylor. You guys got that.
Yep.
Number 3, Devontae Adams. You had that. 4, Nelson had that. Number 5, Amon Green. You had that. Number 6 was Sterling Sharp.
Wow.
With 66 total touchdowns. 7, tied for 7 with 62 was Donald Driver, which you had. And then Paul Horning was 62 as well.
You mentioned Horning earlier.
Aaron Jones was 60 at number 9. Antonio Freeman, 57 at number 10. Greg Jennings just outside the list at number 11 with 53 total touchdowns.
I will say, Ben's not great at coming up with the answers, but he's great about writing down all the thoughts. Like you mentioned Horning earlier on.
Yeah, and I thought about Sterling, but didn't say it because I always view his career as way too short. But I also forgot that there were years where Brett Favre would target him like 170 times, which makes scoring a lot of touchdowns quite easy because there was a point where he was just the whole offense. Right.
And he brought up Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb also number 12 on the list with 51 total touchdowns.
Glad we made that pivot to Eric Jones.
Pat on the back to us. Congratulations, Michelle in
Suck it,
Watertown,
Chef Ed.
for, I guess, being stuck believing in us. Chef Ed once again loses a game here on Scalzo and Brust. It's been downhill since that poor performance in Are You Smarter Than That, Brust? But I believe in you, Chef Ed. I believe in you. You're going to win one of these days. We'll be joined by Gabe Neitzel of Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up next here on Scalzo and Brust to discuss his thoughts about the antics yesterday in Green Bay. We're presented by Bud Light.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Bud Light.
I will not be. Oh, you're going to be weighing at people at the end of the show.
I want to wear, but I'm not going to wear. But just know, I would say wear. That Brust hurt my feelings.
Can you believe he wore a Jets jersey to practice?
But I'm not going to say that.
No, we're not going to.
I'm not going to do that.
Good job. Great pat on the back to us for not doing that, Josh.
Thank you.
Subscribe and listen to full show podcasts available free on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, delays continue along 41 northbound. We've got that right lane blocked just north of Hampton Avenue with some debris in the roadway. It's been there all afternoon. It's been a bit of a mess. 28 minutes to get from the Zoo to Highway Q. We've also got northbound 4394 just north of Oklahoma Avenue, an accident on the right shoulder. That's got things tied up heading back towards Howard Avenue. And then Capitol Drive and Brookfield Road, that intersection's kind of messed up. We got the stoplights blinking, and everybody has to treat it as a four-way stop, and it is just throwing everybody for a loop. Delays in about a mile long back in both directions of Capitol Drive, so give yourself that extra time. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, clear, cool, breezy, a low of 58. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high of 78. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazagon, 94.5 ESPN.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
I'm coming!
Hi, Mark Tauscher. Tausch, you have mosquitoes in here.
It's like an insect zoo right now at my house. Here comes that wasp again. Incoming!
Shoo, you need Pella's 250 series of windows with exclusive hidden screens, protecting you from nature.
Yes, please. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin to the rescue.
Get a 250 series patio door and 8 double-hung windows with hidden screens as low as $188 per month. PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offer ends 8/31/23.
Kevin Moret here from Mentality Men's Health. We hear stories every day in our clinics that what used to work for guys doesn't anymore. Increase cardio, cut out certain food, nothing stops the changes in their bodies, especially the weight. The fact is, years of decreasing testosterone has packed on the belly fat that won't go away. We've introduced a medication, semaglutide, that helps drop 15% of the body weight on average while preserving testosterone. Join the over 20,000 Mentality clients and jumpstart your results. In Milwaukee, go to lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Associated Bank. Show your Brewers pride everywhere you go with Brewers Checking, only from Associated Bank. Score exclusive perks like a one-of-a-kind Brewers Debit MasterCard, 10% off at the team store, even express check-in at the Associated Bank gate. And if you want a VIP game day, the Associated Bank Power Alley is for everyone. Contact the Brewers ticket office to learn how you could treat your crew to a full buffet and private bar overlooking left center field. Brewers Checking. Learn more at AssociatedBank.com/Brewers today. Member FDIC.
High school football is back in action this week. On Friday night, Catholic Memorial opens its season at home against Franklin.
Oh, Barry Sanders moving to 15. He's going to get into the end zone for a touchdown. He slammed on the brakes. What a run by Corey Smith.
This is high school football kickoff week on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by the Milwaukee Fire and Police Commission Open House on Saturday, August 26th at the Milwaukee Safety Academy.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for my friends at Kohler Services. Treat yourself to a new shower this summer. Kohler Services is a local end-to-end bath and shower design and remodel service brought to you by Kohler, a family-owned in Wisconsin for 150 years. Kohler is the only manufacturer offering fast, professional installation and care for life. Start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. Visit kswisconsin.com to request your free quote and tell them that I sent you over. Again, that's kswisconsin.com.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Bud Light, the official beer of the NFL.
Scalzo and Brust, presented by the official beer of the NFL, Bud Light. No Ben Brust. Josh DiMaggio slides in to his spot. I'm Greg Scalzo. Chris Larson, your cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. Young Riley Yauk holding it down in Madison, and we're joined by host of Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Old Gabe
7 to 9. Mornings, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. Why are you calling him Old Gabe Knights?
You just said young Riley Yauk, and Gabe's worked here probably longer than Riley's been alive.
There's a chance.
It's close.
There's always a chance.
Young Riley's at least 22 years old.
I've been with the company for 21.
That's what I mean.
Close. Yeah. That's close.
Riley, how old are you?
Nailed it.
22.
Okay.
Gabe's been with the company for 21?
Yeah, 21 years.
Yeah.
You started when you were 14?
16.
It's crazy.
Celebrated 21 back in June.
Congrats.
Your career,
Thanks, Josh.
career could go to the bar right now.
Yeah, I know. It's very exciting.
Probably 3 months late on that joke. I'm sure you got it elsewhere. Gabe Neitzel joins us on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning. You shared your thoughts about Ben's performance yesterday. All of our performance. We'll collectively take ownership up in Green Bay, but really Ben's.
Yeah.
Do you mind sharing your thoughts again here so I don't put words in your mouth in terms of what your take was on what transpired with Ben Brust wearing a Aaron Rodgers Jets jersey to Packers practice yesterday in Green Bay and then getting it signed by the head coach?
There were a number of things. I just thought that it was a cheap stunt that as a station I didn't feel comfortable with. And then also the way it was kind of handled by you guys. So I'm in a separate group text with some folks with Joshy. And very early, Josh was complaining that people weren't saying anything to Ben's face, but they were saying things online. So I'm like, wait, so Ben did something for attention. He's just getting the wrong kind of attention right now. We're upset by the attention now he's getting. Like making Matt LaFleur sign that jersey, not great. That was uncomfortable to watch. Like his ability, and I think you said this yesterday, Greg. His ability to turn off his shame,
it's remarkable.
I don't know if it's admirable, but it's something. It's something that made me uncomfortable watching. I just thought that yesterday, being as a Packers fan, those yesterday and today were the two biggest days probably for Jordan Love. Because he's going to see things he doesn't see in the preseason games. You're actually going up against people who are going to be in the league versus backups that you typically see. And these are two huge practices, and you guys went up there and ended up kind of being a sideshow to all of that.
And so I guess I don't view us as being a sideshow to all of that because I don't think the Packers were paying attention to us. I don't think it affects Jordan Love's development.
No, but for fans, you were like, and to... You guys seemed surprised by the reception that it got online?
I'm surprised to the vitriol, yes. I'm surprised that even you right now are or anybody for that matter would be upset at like what I look at as somewhat of a joke, right? Ben is a showman. He goes out and he does performance art. We've done this for a long time. And he goes and he does performance art up in Green Bay, and it's almost like people are acting like it is literally at church, where it's like, hey, you can do this elsewhere, but you can't do it at church. And I get it to a degree, but the line of this is going to end up with thousands and thousands of people spewing vitriol at Ben Brust was surprising to me. I didn't think people were going to take themselves as seriously as they took them.
The person reaching out to Mayor Johnson here in Milwaukee, Cavalier Johnson, saying we should have our Lady of license revoked is... I hope that's a joke.
No, that's the thing is it wasn't. It'd be amazing if it was a joke, but it's not.
But even not being a joke, it is kind of funny. Like, obviously the death threats are going too far. Like, we don't need to go too far. But like, you guys have been on the radio for the last 4 months. You understand what a divisive figure this guy is. And for Benny to be up there, well, why can't I support Jordan Love and also wear this jersey and support this and do this? Coming from the same guy who made his girlfriend wear a Badgers jersey to the Marquette, Wisconsin game, like, that's rich. That's real rich.
Well, in Ben's defense, which I rarely do. Yeah. Although when everyone's against Ben, that's when
Greg comes riding in on the white horse.
Ben played for the Wisconsin Badgers. No offense to all the people hating on Ben Brust. None of them played for the Packers. I guarantee you Matt LaFleur isn't nearly as upset about that as everybody else about this.
Sure, but his significant other also went to Marquette. Like, she's allowed to have her allegiances for that rivalry.
And this is hard for me because I was very much against Ben throughout all of this. But Ben played for the team.
Yeah, I get it.
That does mean a little bit
more.
People
more fervently were defending Matt LaFleur and the Packers than they were defending... Like, they were defending them as if they had blood, sweat, and tears, as if they were Chewy, as if they were Mark Tauscher, whereas Ben, like, made a deal about it, and we don't know how big of a deal it was at home, but he also thought it was kind of funny. If she refused to put it on, we all know she would have gone. It would have been fine.
Yeah.
The thing, and you mentioned it, the getting the attention and how it feels like you're mischaracterizing our point about what happened. When we went to training camp, nobody said a word to Ben Brust. More people actually complimented him on his jersey.
And I'll also add this. As far as distracting people at practice, he wasn't yelling things. Yeah. There was no obscenity. There was no profanity.
Sure, but...
He wasn't, But
wearing an Aaron Rodgers Jets jersey to Packers practice...
That's so provocative that it ruined people's experiences. That's what I'm talking about.
But
That's surprising to me.
No, it shouldn't be. You've paid it like you again.
The mere just him wearing the jersey is so provocative that it was upsetting to Packers fans. Those people need to get over themselves.
Well, it's very similar to we just had President Biden in town. If somebody decided to wear a Trump hat to the Biden rally, very similar.
So that is hold on.
What did I do?
I'm glad you went there.
But you're talking about a president who's being indicted for inciting a riot on the Capitol of the United States versus a quarterback who maybe didn't handle things the best way on his way out of town.
Is it ridiculous? Yes. However, you've lived in this state long enough, Greg, to know how serious people take the Green Bay Packers.
I didn't think it would be akin to wearing garb of like... I don't want to get into the political stuff in America.
Yeah. Yes.
It's not akin to to wearing something that is just outwardly offensive. Like, him wearing that should not be outwardly offensive, where just the mere presence of the jersey, it upsets people or provokes them to the point where their experience is diminished in what they're doing. And if
you guys decided to go up there, troll fans that were there by wearing the jersey. No. You know it's trolling them.
But
you admitted yesterday it was trolling them.
But my point is, Gabe, that wasn't even the plan. The plan was for him to do man on the street stuff and ask people about Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Rodgers jersey. But we didn't have equipment.
We failed in executing what we set out to do, despite the interaction we got.
So him standing in practice, sure, it was provocative in the sense he was wearing an Aaron Rodgers jersey. But it wasn't like the whole plan was to do man on the street stuff, which we weren't able to do to our own incompetence.
Yes.
And
back to us.
We just fell ass backward into him running into Matt LaFleur. So, like, again, I think there was ways where certainly we were out there. We wouldn't be up there if we weren't trying to get attention. I don't think there's any reason to go up there unless we're ultimately trying to create content out of it. But I do, and maybe it is my naivete. I am shocked that the mere presence of that jersey was provocative to the point that it did provoke.
Yeah, and again, any sort of death threat sent to Benny, way too far. Like, we're crossing a line. Calling Ben a doofus, calling, again, like...
We were reading them aloud to each other and dying laughing. Like, the ones that were actually funny and, like, just poking fun at him. Mm-hmm. But there are some where we were, like, looking at each other like, wow, that's a lot. And I have a problem with the idea that we're just out here to get attention. Well, no blank. Us three are sitting in front of mics. If we didn't have an inflated sense of self, we shouldn't be here. Attention is what we do. I wouldn't show up every day to work and like do what I do if I wasn't trying to get attention. Now, all of us in the room can agree to that, and I don't know if other people don't, but attention is kind of the game that we're all playing here. So I've heard multiple people say it, and we're getting attention, and we recognize that, and we realize it was a troll. But for people to not be able to say, like, oh, I don't like this, versus I'm so mad, he deserves to be fired, their show deserves to be off the air, they deserve to take them off of the station as a whole. Like, the fact that Packers fans still somehow believe that they need to hear what they want to hear is crazy to me, and it's too far, and it's wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
like I brought up it's an avatar for the current climate in the world, and people are legitimately treating it like it's the president who has terms of life and death.
Yes.
We're Packers fans. We watch the games. That's all it is. They don't pay me. They don't employ me. They affect my happiness. But it's not as big of a deal, and if you can't recognize that, then I don't think I can, like, we're never going to agree type of thing. Mm-hmm. That's where I stand on the whole issue.
Yeah, I just thought you guys should have been more prepared for, you trolled an entire family, because think about the people that go to Packers practice.
Oh, we met them.
It's the diehard of the diehard, right? Like, it's in the middle of the day. You're rearranged. You might be taking,
I just think they don't have...
A good chunk of people...
Don't be mean, Jossie.
A big chunk of people probably took a vacation day to go to a practice for their favorite football team yesterday.
I think a lot of them are retired, if we're being honest.
No, a lot of olds.
Yeah. They got mad at us at one point because we were standing.
That was the most vitriol. That's the most vitriol.
Hold on. Lambeau's standing problem is bleeding to the field, the practice field?
By the way, when it is on the opposite
you
side,
can't see squat.
You have to stand in order to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I did clock that. I had a lot of things happening at that time, specifically the guys in front of us tweeting but not having the guts to turn around and say it to Ben Brust. I think that's weak, and I'll stand by that.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, that was my point. I know what you're saying, and yes, we were getting the attention, and let me be honest, them doing that helped us.
Oh, yeah.
It's good. It was good. I had a good day yesterday.
Because you're the king of just like setting the bomb, laying it down, and then walking away and just leaving the chaos behind you. You should see some of the wars and fights Josh has started in this office. Just ask simple questions to a group of people. They start arguing, and Josh just, well, my job's done here, and he'll just wander away.
That's how you do it.
Gabe Neitzel. Mornings, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, thank you. Listen to him tonight on GKW if you want to hear some good wrestling talk. You can find that on Twitter at ESPN Milwaukee, at ESPN Madison, everywhere.
Everywhere. On the YouTube pages from Milwaukee and Madison as well. GKW. Talking a little CM Punk tonight, getting ready for All In Wembley Stadium. A little WWE talk in there as well.
All right. We will get back on track with Packers next. Scalzo and Brust, presented by Bud Light.
You're listening to Bud Light, Scalzo, and Brust.
Kids, by the way, baby, best excuse ever. You get out of anything at this point in your life.
What are the best excuses other than like a kid? I heard a good one from someone who lived in Chicago who works with us. He said railroads. Oh, man.
What?
Not railroads.
What?
Freight trains. Not a lot of freight trains in Wisconsin as much as there is in the Chicago.
How is an excuse?
You get stuck behind it.
Yeah, if you get stuck behind it and there's nothing you can do.
That's for being late. That's not for entirely not showing up.
It's a good point.
Subscribe to the Scalzo and Brust podcast free on the Wisconsin On Demand app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Even when you think you know what's going on.
Grew up on the farm. I knew how to run a bulldozer. Obviously, skid loaders are easy.
You can never be too sure.
Nice plow truck would be nice.
Everybody knows that.
What is a skid loader?
You know, the thing with the bucket and one of those.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I mean, if you didn't get it before, I don't know if you can explain it any more clearly than that.
Mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Announcing the former All-Star Buick GMC is now the all-new Cunis Buick GMC of Oak Creek. And the former John Paul's Buick GMC is now the all-new Cunis Buick GMC of Greenfield, Milwaukee's Buick GMC headquarters. Greg Cunis was recently named Time Magazine's Wisconsin Automotive Dealer of the Year. Plus, Cunis dealerships have been awarded Top 100 Best in the U.S. by the Automotive News the past 9 years. Our mission is to bring the Cunis Auto Group's unequaled customer satisfaction and service to our friends in the greater Milwaukee area. Cunis Milwaukee Buick GMC stores have the area's largest pre-owned car, truck, and SUV inventory with over 3,000 vehicles available on lot or online and always at a price and payment you can afford. And all new and pre-owned Cunis vehicles come with our exclusive no-fear lifetime warranty coverage at no extra charge. So buy like a champion at the all-new Cunis Buick GMC of Oak Creek, 7020 South 27th Street, or Cunis Buick GMC of Greenfield, 3615 South 108th Street. Milwaukee's Buick GMC headquarters.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust for Road America. Make the most out of your summer at Elkhart Lakes Road America. Slow down your summer and take in some high-speed thrill at Elkhart Lakes Road America. The race season is still going strong. Don't miss a minute of the fun. Camp on site all weekend and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. The SRO GT World Challenge features exotic sports car racing at Road America August 18th through the 20th. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Freddie Coleman and Ian Fitzsimmons.
I want to see what this is going to look like for Deion Sanders, his first year at Colorado.
Great call.
He has got everybody excited about Colorado football for the first time probably since Cordell Stewart played quarterback for that team back in the 1990s, and that team was rolling after Gary Barnett and also Bill McCartney. I want to see exactly when he got rid of everybody, not named Sanders, including his sons. He brought in different players. He's got them excited. They're going to go to the Big 12. They played TCU at Tino's in the national championship game before they got boat raced by Georgia. I want to see what year one is going to look like with Deion Sanders. Prime time, trying to make that work after jumping from Jackson State in the SWAC and FCS to big boy college football with Colorado in their last year in the Pac-12 before they head to the Big 12.
And Freddie, I can tell you what it's going to look like. Ugly.
Yes, it is.
I mean, if they win 3 games, he may be up for Coach of the Year.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankism of Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Scalzo and Brust on a Grateful Dead Thursday across ESPN Wisconsin. Josh DiMaggio, Greg Scalzo, no Ben Brust, Chris Larson running the show. Doesn't sub of the day. Twitter at Scalzo and Brust. Couple polls that we posted. Should Ben Brust have canceled his vacation after setting the internet on fire yesterday to be on the show today? 55-45 yes to no. That's higher than I expected. Thought people would not want Ben on the show today.
Yeah, I think there's half the people thinking, yeah, I want to hear him have to explain himself and get yelled at, and then the other half is, I don't want him to have a job.
Also on Twitter at Scalzo and Brust, would people have gotten as mad at Ben Brust yesterday if he didn't have his mustache? 54% say no, 46% say yes. It's obvious. The answer is no. The mustache just, I think, creates it multiplies the rage to a certain degree. So we will check in with Benny tomorrow. We will continue to follow what's going on, obviously, up in Green Bay throughout training camp. No Ben Brust again tomorrow. Josh and I back with it, along with Chris Larson. That is coming up tomorrow. You got Joe and Amber coming up next across ESPN Wisconsin.
ESPN Madison.
We do still have some delays left over, but no more major incidents. We had an earlier accident on northbound 40.